Hello, everybody. I don't know if anybody is going to be able to find this stream now because we had to start a new stream, but it wouldn't be my channel if it wasn't an issue. Why did the shape of my box change, Rudy? Do you know? Any idea? Why? Oh, there we go. Back in the New York groove. Is anybody watching? How do you toggle between windows? I know, but between like two open windows, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got that. No, I just meant like between, because I have a window that's open with Riverside and I have a window open with the things, and it would be nice to do quick keys to toggle between the two. Uh-oh. Snoopy's back. Are there 8 people watching now? It looks like it. What's up, everybody? Jump, jump, jump. Welcome. Oh, hey, what's up? Yo, yo, yo. Hi, everybody. Bring the volume down for Snoop. I can't believe that. It's like the quietest noise. You really can't? It's too loud? This is loud. I can't believe that. Hey, everybody. Thank you. These are my daughter's headphones. Hey, what's up, the Prophet? I've been live for like a minute. That's it. Yeah, I'm just getting into it. The stream is back, you guys. The stream is back, and we're going to be weekly. And I'm set up in my former home because I had to watch the baby tonight. But I have a whole studio set up, so this is only going to get better. And I keep saying that. I think I say that every time. What if I just watched lo-fi videos for all of my stream? My mic is a bit low. How do I turn my mic volume up? Any recommendations, Rudolph? All right. You don't have to yell at me. How's that? Is that any better? All right. I can't believe the mic. This is almost the next setting is off, just so you know. Nobody else can hear me or hear you, Rudy, because uh, nobody else can hear Rudy, but Rudy's in my ear. Rudy's my producer. What's up, everybody? This is I would say lower the music volume 2 tads. I turned it off because apparently everything's all fucking foobar. What? Never ever goes according to plan, but it wouldn't be an Andy Haynes stream if it wasn't a fucking disaster. Um, but yes, it is Rudy the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's mainly because he's in Miami and he's doing a lot of cocaine. Um, has anybody like from the Diplomats made like a rap song that used like Santa euphemisms, where it was like Santa was like moving snow? You know what I mean? I don't know if they could get back together and maybe record that next holiday. Seems like a good seems like a good rap kind of trope. I don't know if you guys agree. Um, but welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for showing up. This is weekly on Wednesdays. It might be earlier in the day because we are trying to cater to the European people. A little bit different. I usually do Map Quest. There will be some map features on this. We will get into maps at some point. We might even play a little bit of. Jules Santana said, "Kids don't need to read." Uh, Das, I don't know how to say your name. Dasnar, uh, Dasnar. I am. I'm heading to, unfortunately, Whiteface next weekend, and then I'm going to Utah the following week, and gonna pop into Jackson if everything goes according to plan. Um, that would mainly require me skipping couples therapy, which is part of my plan. Um, well, no, I'm thinking about doing a noon stream for that Thargoris. I don't know how to say your name either. There is no Rudy, never was. That is funny. I'm just talking to somebody who isn't there. Um, yes, thank you, Dasnar. That's fucking perfect. Um, we're gonna get into maps. We're gonna get into some goofy shit. I do think we should talk a little bit about what's been going on in the world. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's seen the news. This is our commander in chief. A lady was shot. If you guys haven't been paying attention, a lady was shot in Minneapolis. She was. I don't. I can see how if you are trying to defend somebody shooting a lady in like a family vehicle, how you could say that she like drove near the ICE officer. But these guys are wild. They're now killing, and by the way, this is not something I'm defending. By the way, um, but they're now killing white women. That's how far we've gone. We've gotten into white women. Ski couples therapy and get a burger. That sounds great. Um, yeah, well, it's not really. There is a gun problem in America, but this is the people that are supposed to be. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing. Honestly, most ICE officers are not there to protect us because the because they're guys who couldn't qualify to be police officers. That's who most ICE officers are. They're guys that are like they failed out of police academy or they couldn't get accepted, and ICE has taken everybody. And apparently, the chickens are coming home to roost. This isn't the first civilian they've killed, by the way. They've killed a couple people, but this is the first one that got caught like this. And here's the crazy shit. Um, I heard that it was like 3 blocks from it was like 3 blocks from where George Floyd was killed. So shit is about to be crazy. It's about to get wild. Let's just read this real quick. And also, by the way, I am headed to Minneapolis tomorrow. Not to, I was not going there for this. I was going there to do comedy. I'm now going there to um, hopefully do comedy, but I'm also going to. ICE is hiring, and also ICE is giving you a $50,000 bonus if you're willing to ruin lives. $50,000. Um, this is what our president. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. Okay, starting strong, Donald. Um, the woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willingly, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Okay, he didn't run over her, or she didn't run over him, because he shot her in the face, and you can't do that while you're getting ran over. But also, can we get over this idea that there's paid agitators? Because I would be one. I think that's important to know that if there was such a thing as paid agitators, I would be getting paid to agitate. I don't make enough money not to get paid to agitate. I did get paid to post on Threads for a while by the Meta company. They told me not to talk about politics. I did. They still paid me. Um, but let's see. So, based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. Motherfucker, he didn't even get touched by the car. The situation is being studied in its entirety. But the reason these are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. Okay, this motherfucker is not in the hospital. He walked casually over to the woman that he just shot in the face. And what do you mean you're gonna? This is being studied. Did you get your crack squad of Florida real estate agents that you've hired to run the cabinet? Did Pete Hegseth take a break from doing keg stands? Did what's her Christy Noam stop shooting dogs in her barn? Anyways, they're just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Okay, motherfucker, I don't know. One person got shot in the face, and it was not. I don't. I don't think an ICE officer has been fucked up yet. Even like they've had their feelings hurt at like Chicago. I'm not going to show the video because it's pretty upsetting, but I will show this. This is
onto the law enforcement vehicles, and they were throwing snowballs at them. Did you see that? Can you see that they're throwing it looks like snowballs or maybe chunks of ice at the vehicles? People here are really angry, and right now, because the Minneapolis Police Department is among the law enforcement still on the ground, that anger is singularly directed toward the Minneapolis Police Department, and that highlights the real challenge for law enforcement in cities where ICE is descending on this area and causing these flare-ups between the public and law enforcement. Minneapolis police were not involved in the shooting, and yet they are here taking the heat that people feel because of what they saw ICE do here in Minneapolis. You know, as soon as that perimeter collapsed, Boris, what we really...
Well, thoughts and condolences with the Minneapolis police. I know that they're really going through it right now. Of course they posted it. I mean, they know where the ICE people are. Like, I'm going to Minneapolis this weekend. It's probably going to be, my shows are probably all going to get canceled because of a fucking curfew. I mean, right? Like, hey, what's up, Leslie? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, that's, thank you, Dan. Hilarious. Not snowballs. Not at the fucking murderers. These fucking pussies. The funny thing is that they act so threatened by all of this. Like, they always act like they're just like under such duress when it's like literally like middle-aged women just yelling at them on the sidewalk for the most part. Occasionally a protest, occasionally like a priest is in front of their garage gate, and they act like they're defending the American embassy in Tehran in 1979, which, shout out the Iranian Revolution. Guys are the last ones to really get one over on us. My producers said I don't know if I should share this. I mean, I'm trying to make this stuff funny, but it's obviously, it's not super funny, but yeah, I mean, it's upsetting, and I think we should talk about it. This is after the case. The ICE agents wouldn't let...
Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
Hey, listen, we understand. We got EMS coming, and I get it. Just give us a second. We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they?
I love this woman.
How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor! You caught your butter in the face! You killed my neighbor! How do you show up to work every day? How the do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors! You're stealing my neighbors! What the man? Can I go check a poll?
It's not funny, but somebody will probably do a remix in the vein of hide your wife, hide your kids. They're raping over here. That's probably going to happen with they're killing my neighbors. They're stealing my neighbors. How the fuck do you go to your job? I mean, this is like, where are we? Like, what fucking world are we in? All these guys are fucking losers, and I don't care. I don't care if anybody knows someone that is like a fucking good guy that's just trying to feed his family. Get a fucking job at Starbucks. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to feed my family too. I don't fucking murder people. But also, I mean, it's just insane that like one thing that's really insane to me is with all this shit going down, Venezuela, ICE, the fucking constant just rule bending. Like, yes, I can't do much about it. It's a drag to talk about it constantly in my comedy. I wish that I was more, I wanted to talk more about like my dog or whatever. But I don't understand motherfuckers who go up on stage now and they're just like, my girlfriend's such a bitch. She's pissed that I made out with her. I can't do a fake bad comic, obviously, but it's fucking stupid. Like, how do you do that? How do you have that kind of platform and you just go out and you're just like either making fun of this stuff, like, there was like, exactly, Adam, all these fucking guys, every single one of these dudes is either a failed jock, a guy that desperately wanted to be a cop or FBI agent and couldn't pass it because he was like near. I don't think there's any test to get into ICE, by the way. I don't. I think they're just like, do you have a heartbeat? Can you walk? Here's a gun. Yeah, they are out here killing white ladies now. It'd be funny if nobody in Minneapolis protested because they're like, well, white people do kind of deserve it. That's not how I feel, by the way, but I could see liberals being like, meh, and I'm a liberal. Anyways, it's a fucking, it's embarrassing. Yeah, I think, I don't love, like mainstream lib, the mainstream lib kind of dudes out there. That's not, like I'm Team Zoran. I think that's like the direction that the Democratic Party should be moving in. They're not gonna because they fucking, they're taking money from the Koch brothers and whatnot. But I'm trying to look for this. This is from Tim Waltz right here. Let me see. To Minnesotans on the National Guard, they are there to protect you and protect your constitutional rights, Walt said. These are our neighbors. They don't wear masks. They don't bust in from somewhere else. They're not here to cause hate, to cause hassles to you or what we saw today, the tragedy. Shut up, Tim. God, this is like fucking just quintessential lib brain shit. Like, just, oh man, like, let's make sure to like protect, like, don't denounce the atrocity that these federal agents have thus wrought again and again, just to be like, hey, can we maintain some order, everybody? Come on, let's be civil. That's the whole fucking, that's the entire Democratic platform now. Can we just be civil, guys? I mean, I know they're shooting people in the street and kidnapping daycare attendants and registered nurses, but can we give them a break? They're good boys. Shut the fuck up, you fucking loser. Yeah, I got no sympathy for. I'm not voting for these fuckers again. I'm not voting for these institutional Democrats because well, first of all, they're gonna lose, so it doesn't really matter. But second of all, it's just the same fucking thing over and over and over again. It's just, can't we just take the high road? The other side's not taking any roads. They're in a helicopter and private jets, and they're dropping shit on all of us and laughing in a golf course in the suburbs of Cocoa Beach. Is that the beach, Rudy? What's a rich but trashy part of Miami? No, but that's like, South Beach is like, you guys can't hear this. I'm talking to my producer. Oh, West Palm Beach. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about old ladies with bad, Let's see. Let's see. Adam shared this with us. Um, Let me see if I can hear this.
With pronouns in her bio. A 37-year-old white woman named Renee Good. The Daily Mail says the woman who lost her life was a self-proclaimed poet from Colorado, with pronouns in her bio. A 37-year-old white woman named Renee Good. The Daily Mail says she leaves behind a lesbian partner and a child from a previous marriage. She was a disruptor, though she considered herself a observer, but there's no evidence she had a law degree.
What's that dude's name? What's his name? Is it Jesse something? Is that what it is? Because I live in New York. He's in New York. I'm gonna throw an ice ball at him. It's fucking. And the problem is that like that's all this. Yeah, Jesse Waters. The problem is with these fuckers is that it's like they're gonna spin it like this, like that she's just she's just a crazy pronoun person, like that her life doesn't mean anything, and a lot of people are gonna eat that up and they're gonna go, yeah, our side, which is just so atrocious. But it's like it's beyond anything, because it's not like you can fucking you can't fucking like do anything. You can't do anything to like really like move the needle on this. But what I don't understand is, why did he go after her poetry? Like, she just got shot in the face, man. Can she just be a poet? Can she just be a probably frumpy lesbian poet from Minnesota? Like, it's just so insane. Can you remember when news used to be like Peter Jennings? Like, it didn't matter. It would be like the Ayatollah died, and he'd be like, he was a man of many different sides. He was complicated and obviously an enemy of the American people. But I don't know. I'm just doing Obama. But I feel like that was Peter Jennings adjacent. But they used to eulogize life, like it didn't matter. And obviously we get upset about that sometimes when they do that with current awful people, like when Jesse Helms died, or Scalia or something like that. But it really seemed to me like she had a guy reaching in her window and another guy had a gun and she was trying to drive away, because that's pretty upsetting, you know? I don't know if you guys agree. We've lost 6 people as I've gone on my rant. Don't worry, guys. We'll get into maps in a minute. Maybe we'll even play some what's that game? Geolocate, whatever. I love that game. We'll play that in a minute. We've got 30 more minutes. We should let's look at Venezuela. So this is Trump. Let's just zoom in on this. Venezuela has agreed. Yeah, I think they weren't given much of a choice to send 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the United States. By the way, they had already agreed to sell oil through their Chevron contract, which was already operating. Trump said on social media that oil will be sent to the U.S. and sold at its normal market price, and that he will control the money from the sales to help people in both countries. I'm sure. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, I don't really care. I don't care that it's illegal to do what Trump did. I care that people don't admit that it's illegal. Like, that they can't, like, we're just robbing a developing nation. Not that that's anything new, but we're just like, we're literally going into a country that has been on the precipice of a failed state because of sanctions that we imposed. We kidnapped their dictator, and I have no sympathy for Maduro. I think he was a bad guy. I think he ran the country into hell. And now we're just taking their oil, and they desperately need that money. And this is something I do want to talk about, and I think that a lot of people need to appreciate this because I think that this is important to know is that for all of Maduro's failures and for everything bad that was happening in Venezuela, I don't forgive the rigged elections, the suppression of the media, the torture, all that shit. Just all that fucking shit. That's good. I like that, Anthony. But the thing that really gets me is that the programs under Chavez, who was his predecessor and then died of cancer, I'm sure. Yeah, right. We gave that dude cancer. There's no way. There's no way we didn't give that dude cancer. But the programs under Chavez, I saw a thing today that said under socialism, which was called, I think it was called Chavismo. Is that what it was called? Chavismo, Chavista. Chavismo, like, the plan in Venezuela. Chavez tried to do a coup in the 90s. He was arrested. He was released. He ran. He won. They tried to coup him out again. He survived that coup. And then he gained control. He nationalized oil and really pissed off a lot of people. And was also kind of the head of a movement that happened throughout Central and South America and really just all of Latin America and probably beyond that, where he kind of led the charge, which was followed up by leaders like Evo Morales, Lula da Silva in Brazil. I can't remember everybody's names, but there was a guy in Uruguay who was like a fat old priest, but he was a socialist. And then, it went on to the developing nations, and people had tried this before too. This was something that had happened in the 60s and 70s, where kind of developing nations, they called themselves the second world, like they weren't third world. But they had tried to kind of band together and have like an alternative network of commerce and just politics and trades. And a big one of the leaders was out of Indonesia. I'm forgetting his name right now. It doesn't matter because the Americans went in there and they fucking just not only killed him, but I think kind of set up the framework and the military training and just kind of the propaganda machine that ended up killing, I think, maybe 1 million Indonesians, and really trying to shut down any kind of alternative to the status quo, any kind of alternative to like just the program we have, the UN Security Council, these top 10 nations, these companies. And what I'm trying to get to is that Chavez, when he nationalized the oil and he took that oil and he put it into back into his own economy, and I will not say that there wasn't corruption, and I will not say that there wasn't favoritism and fuck shit, just in general, that happens in a lot of places. But I mean, Chavez would go on TV and do Allo Presidente every Sunday for like 5 hours, and that's pretty Trump-esque. But with that oil money, he was able to take general poverty from 50% down to 17%, abject poverty from 37% to 7%. And he was able to give people education. He was able to give people healthcare. He was able to give people jobs. And the people that get mad about this every time, if you notice, the people that are upset about this are usually from upper middle class to upper class. It's people that lost something in the sharing of everything. They lost profits, they lost stability. They weren't allowed to just kind of be this superpower of capitalism that only worked with cronies and kept their kids in these like elite schools, probably in Europe, probably Switzerland. That's where most dictators' kids go. But that's who usually is mad. And I think at the end of Venezuela, I think everybody was pretty mad. I think people were starving. I don't think you could get medicine. I think the inflation was so bad that you could literally come with $1 million in cash and buy like an insulin pen. So I think things were fucked up. But what I'm trying to get with all this is that with Chavez, with Castro, with anybody who's coming from at least our hemisphere, but more so just the developing world, anytime anybody tries to do this, they are actively worked against. Actively, constantly. The CIA, the US media, corporations, everybody is trying to shut this shit down. And I wish I could find, let me see if I can find this clip. Chavez interview. Chavez interview. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm looking up something. So,
when a major source of oil to the United States is threatened, that's big news. But we're not talking about some oil-rich sheikdom in the Middle East. We're talking about our Latin American neighbor, Venezuela, which supplies almost as much oil to the United States as Saudi Arabia does. When Venezuela's duly elected president, Hugo Chavez, was overthrown by the military a few weeks ago, then reinstated 2 days later with barely a peep out of Washington, it begged the question, what's going on down there? The answer is plenty. And right in the middle of it all is President Chavez himself, a larger-than-life figure who often seems friendlier with the likes of Fidel Castro, Colonel Gaddafi, and Saddam Hussein than he is with the United States. It is all taking place in a country about twice the size of California. On the Capitals has accused him of aiding not redistributed to the powerful labor.
So absurd, so unpolitical that.
Jamás, nunca, never.
You didn't agree to resign?
Never, never, never.
Country? President Chavez says he wasn't surprised by his return to power, but
it's not really. I can't find the interview, but he said some very like specific kind of stuff about what happens when you kind of poke the bear of capitalism. But all I'm trying to say is that we don't know how any of these systems work because they're always worked against. You know what I mean? Like if you go to fucking Sweden, Canada, Switzerland, China, Australia, South Africa. I don't know about South Africa actually, but mainly Commonwealth and a lot of European shit. But these people have socialism across the country, across the world. A lot of these places have socialism. A lot of these places have at least universal healthcare, universal basic income, universal education. All of these things. They do mixed economies for the most part. Norway, like one of the most oil-rich countries in the world, they, I think they give everybody a fucking, well, they don't have Volvos, but they give everybody education. I think there is mandatory military service there still, but like if you're in Norway, who the fuck are you worried about? You got to go fight the Russians up on the border. But socialism like is effective in a lot of places, and it's just not pure socialism. It's mixed, it's mixed economies and things like that. And I don't even think Venezuela was a purely socialist country. It was just that they took a lot of resources that had been occupied by a few small groups of people. Now, do I think Chavez probably fucked with people? Do I think he probably used his power to enact retribution? Do I think that people who were anti-Chavez probably had their mobility restricted in the sense of like, could they get the same kind of jobs? Could they get the same kind of access to things? Probably not. But I also wonder, like, specifically with like Cuba, like if you go back to Cuba, like in the 60s, like Fidel Castro, like he killed his enemies, he tortured people, he murdered people. There was not freedom of press and things like that. That's, a big gray area in socialism and communism. But he was constantly under threat. I mean, the CIA was actively trying to kill him. The CIA was actively trying to overthrow him. They were trying to get back to a non-socialist Cuba. And so it's like, do you play by the same rules? And by the way, I went to Cuba in 1997. I went to Cuba in 1997. I was there when the Melia Cohiba Hotel was bombed by that crazy old dude that blew up the plane out of Venezuela. I can't remember his name. He died in Miami, a free man. He was never prosecuted for killing a lot of innocent people. I don't think it was the jackal. I think he was like an old man. They tried to extradite him. Cuba asked him to be extradited, but America, it was under Bush. They were like, "Nah, this guy's getting extra Arnold Palmers at the country club." But the thing about it, I mean, it's just that, like, I don't know if you play by the same rules, and it's like in America, it's like, yes, I can criticize my government. I can wear whatever the fuck I want to. I can be gay, I can, I can do whatever the fuck I want. But I also can starve to death. I can go bankrupt because I get sick completely out of my own diet or whatever lifestyle. I get cancer and just go bankrupt because that shit isn't free. In Cuba, they weren't allowed to criticize the government very openly. I mean, I saw people with, minor conversations and things like that. My Spanish wasn't that good at that age. I was 15. I was by myself. I was mainly interested in getting drunk and getting pickpocketed by prostitutes on the Malecón. But I lived with people who had good lives, and I lived with a doctor, and the woman below us in the apartment played piano for the National Orchestra, and she would play Gershwin every morning. It was fucking brilliant. I would wake up to Gershwin like flowing out of the windows. I got pneumonia while I was there. They brought me they have so many doctors in Cuba that I got my own doctor for the whole time I had pneumonia, because they were like, this little fucking white boy is not gonna die. This gringo, no va morir en nuestro tiempo. I don't know how to say it actually. But it was, like, it was a good life. Like the counter here in America is that you can buy a 65-inch TV, you can have your fucking Snuggie on your fucking pay-to-play sofa from Rack Rent-A-Center. You can drive your truck down to the fucking Wawa and get as many fucking Doral cigarettes as you want. You can complain and just leer at people with more melanin than you because you're suspicious that they're going to take some kind of cultural prominence over you. And then you can die because you can't afford the radiation and chemo that it takes to not die from cancer. Meanwhile, I remember one time I was in Cuba, I took a cab, and I was talking to my cab driver, and I said, what do you do besides this? And he said, I am a professor of Russian literature. He was driving a cab because I think that was the job that he could get. I guess they didn't need professors, or maybe, his lottery hadn't come up. But we worked actively against these people, and they still survived, and they still kind of had, I mean, I don't think it was a great quality of life for a lot of people, but they had a quality of life. They had medical, they had healthcare. Even though, like, at one point, there was this time called the special period in Cuba where we imposed this thing in the American Senate or Congress, whatever. We enacted a law called the Helms-Burton Act. And the Helms-Burton Act made it explicitly, can you show us the NAD plus package? I don't know which one you're talking about. I'll get one. I'm going to start... Next stream, I'm going to have my injectable NAD plus, and I'm going to put it on. But I want to say this last thing. With the Helms-Burton Act, we made it illegal to do business with Cuba if you were a company that did business with the United States. So, like, let's say you're a French automotive company. If you sold cars to Cuba, you were not allowed to do business in the United States, the largest economy in the world. So, obviously, it really was a stranglehold on the Cuban economy. They still had one of the strongest healthcare systems in the world. Anyways, I am ranting, and my producer just said that I should talk about how Cuba will fit into this, because Cuba, a big thing that Cuba has done the last 20 years is that they've sent medical and military professionals all over the world. And I think if you guys really want to like get a deep dive on a lot of this stuff, a great place to start is the Blowback podcast. If you haven't listened to that series, this last season, I think they're on their fifth or sixth season. This last season was about Angola, and the Angolan revolution was single-handedly effective because of Cuban military assistance. Che went down there, he hung out, he danced to, I forgot the name of Angolan music. There's a term for it. They speak Portuguese there. That must have been difficult. What I didn't know about this was that the U.S. was fighting the Angolans with the South Africans, which is not surprising. We're always on. I mean, Trump's just the loudest, most obvious version of this. Bold prediction sports. Here's what I'm going to say. Bold prediction. Get on your Kalshi spreadsheet right now that I think we will take Greenland. We will take Greenland. I think we will also do military operations within Mexico. I think we will try to, because this is all raw stuff. This doesn't matter. The efficacy of it is not important. If Trump kills people, his base is happy. Let me see this. I think, but anyways, Cuba has exchanged, government, medical assistance and military assistance for years. Let's listen to this piece of shit really quick. And anyways, all I'm saying is, yeah, I will. But I will say the one thing about Cuba is that they've traded medical personnel to lots of places. Cuban doctors came to New Orleans during Katrina. I mean, Cuban doctors are all over the world. They mainly work within the global South. It's one of the most prolific and proficient medical systems in the world, considering the resources. They came up with their own COVID vaccine without any outside assistance. They did it on their own. And that's pretty good for a country that had to eat octopus for a year. This is a true story. They only could get protein from octopus for a whole year during that special period, during the Helms-Burton Act, because that's nobody would trade with them because of all the bullshit. So they literally, everybody, what's for dinner? Fucking octopus. But that's pretty fucking impressive.
Finland and the Premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying,
I mean, it's just insane.
The U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish prime minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously."
Is that okay, Rudy?
When he says, I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War. Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
When you eat octopus, is it?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now. So I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United States,
but your wife posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation. That's why it's newly relevant.
No, I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's really important conversation.
Greenland covered with.
This is Stephen Miller's wife. Why is this influencer loser being like, soon? Why the fuck is she chiming in? That's how dumb our nation is right now. That this fucking idiot, I know she used to work in the White House. I'm sure she has all sorts of behind Stephen Miller's back. Oh, that's cool. Apparently, my producer just told me that apparently Katie Miller is boning Elon Musk, which good for her because he's got a prosthetic penis. So is she fucking him or is she fucking a medical horror show? But how this is like, this lady should be like, I'm sure if we go through her page, one of these things is going to be like, the next thing is going to be like, fucking, just like it's PSL season. Oh my God, so happy. LOL. Same person is probably. I mean, we just live in one of the stupidest things. Also, something funny. I have a mutual friend who went to high school with Stephen Miller, and apparently he used to do this kind of shit in high school. Like he would go up at like a student body assembly and talk about how he was going to like eradicate. I'm going to eradicate the school of graffiti, and we're going to make sure that classical music plays at lunchtime to reinforce a Western heterodoxy. You know, fucking loser. If anybody I want to see fucking do the fucking head wobble like Charlie Kirk, it's this motherfucker. I think I'm legally allowed to say that. We'll see. Do I get banned?
It's an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. take the American president seriously of the Second World War. Can you
now? So I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United States.
But your wife.
The problem with this is we're going to take Greenland. We're going to take Greenland. We're going to take. Where else is the places that we're talking about taking? I know Greenland's on the possibilities. Who else is? I mean, Gaza. That's one that we're talking about turning into a tech. Do you guys know about this? Does everybody know about this? What is it? It's what's the fucking name of the city in Saudi Arabia? Super city. Neom. Let me show you guys this. This is what Trump wants to turn. He wants to turn Saudi Arabia's building. This is a real thing. They're building this like super city. This is what it's going to look like eventually. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, just a giant. It's a very annoying website because it's every time I try to. There we go. Thank you. Don't. But it's a big. It's like a big cylinder, I guess. Oh, I wasn't sharing it. But they're building a super city, and they're not really going to build it because, like, I mean, look at it. You can't fucking build that. There's not enough journalists to chop up to build a city like that. What am I sharing now? Because I just blacked out. Am I sharing anything? Oh, it's just me. But what are the other spots we're talking about taking? Because we've talked about Greenland, we've talked Venezuela. We're controlling Venezuela. Is there another fucking city or country that we're talking about getting in on? Does anybody know? I can't remember. The Line. Thank you. They're gonna have indoor ski areas inside there, just like the American Dream Mall where the Meadowlands Stadium is. Let me see. It's already been canceled. Damn it, Cameron. I was gonna move there. Let's listen to a little bit more of this shithead. Let's just look at this real quick. Other countries Trump has threatened. Okay, here's our list. The countries Trump is threatening. Okay, yeah. So these are the regime changes. It's not letting me. Hold on. Let me see. I gotta share. Share. This has actually gone pretty well. Okay. So Greenland, that's next. Nigeria, we bombed there. Iran, Syria, Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Mexico, Cuba, Canada. The thing is like, we live in such a nightmare reality now. We live in such a world of just like, you watch the biggest assholes in the world win constantly. I have a new joke about this, but just like every time I do like a doom scroll, hey Leslie, don't joke about that because you will be a U.S. citizen pretty soon. So stock up on all the drugs that you need to take. But Leslie lives in Ontario, so she's she's safe for now. It will be nice to not have to check my passport or wait in a long line when I get to the Peace Arch near Vancouver. By the way, I was in Vancouver last week, one of the most underrated cities in the world. Fucking top notch. It's like Hong Kong meets Denver. It's fucking amazing. But you know, it's like every time I turn on the fucking like YouTube, it's like there's some kid. He's like, "Hey, my name is Austin Sparks." And he's just like, he's in front of a mansion. He's got 9 pink luxury cars. He's wearing like basketball shorts that have like swastikas on them, but they're like hype beast or something. And he's just like, today, me and Little John and the guy that got canceled from That 90s Show are gonna go and use a t-shirt cannon to shoot soup cans at homeless people. And in a normal world, we would go, that's bad, and this person, you know, this person should fucking not be a success. But for some reason, it just slips through. It just slips through the fucking thing. He's a millionaire. Kids are watching him. Parents are putting him on the fucking iPad so the kid will shut the fuck up. Cybertrucks are winning, and fucking what's her name? Katie Miller is tweeting, "Yay, Greenland next." That's how dumb our reality is. And they're just going to do this shit, and everybody's going to be like, what can I do? You know? Because it is like, I work with some activists. I work with some like real like, you know, dumpster diving, get together on Signal activists. I know them. It's not fun. It's not sexy or cool. It's, you know, it's not the same kind of like, if you go to like a fucking hype house in the hills of Hollywood, that's way more fun. I mean, it's way more fun to go to a fucking True Food Kitchen at a faux luxury mall than it is to actually do any real activism. And if people can buy 65-inch TVs, they're not really gonna give a shit. If you can go to Costco and you can get a 65-inch TV for $800 that you can pay on finance, you're not gonna march. There's no way. You can, and also the fact that you can get the TV is gonna somehow assuage the fact that you also can't afford, that you literally are. I just said how much TVs are going for. $850, Rudy. Rudy yelled in my ear how much her TV's going for. They're going for $850. I'm frustrated. You guys. Let's cool this all off. I want everybody to know that I'm really glad. I'm stoked that there are 24 people here. TVs are cheap nowadays. But I do want to say this. The Venezuela shit's fucked up. The fucking ICE shit is beyond fucked up. We should all be general striking over this ICE shit. We should all be doing much more than posting about fucking what's happening on the streets of America. Undocumented migrants and people that come to this country seeking a better life are the only reason we can have the quality of life we can have in most of the Western world, is the truth of the matter. Low wage laborers, especially in the United States. We would have zero construction, food, manufacturing without these people. So the fact that we are turning around and letting them be abused by the worst of us, literally the worst of us, the bully from high school that got kicked out of college for killing somebody in a DUI and lost his scholarship because he blew out his knee air humping on a keg. True story. I know a guy that happened to at OSU. He was a baseball scholarship and he was standing on a keg doing an air hump and he blew out his fucking knee and lost his scholarship. And now he probably works for ICE. Now he's probably fucking high up at ICE. But I mean, even if it's the most minor thing of shutting down conversation that is somewhat sympathetic to these causes, or even like devil's advocate about it, it's atrocious, and we all owe it to ourselves for the society that we want to live in, that we stop kind of just shrugging at this kind of stuff. Now that I've ranted for quite a long time, I'm going to play what's that game? GeoFinder? Yeah. GeoGuessr. Here we go, guys. We're gonna play a round of GeoGuessr. I already pay you cunts. Take me to GeoGuessr. Play now. Okay. This is too loud, Rudy. I don't even know if I can change the volume on this. Okay. Okay. So I got 1 minute and 40 seconds. Let's see. It's looking like the Pacific, coffee beans, and milk tea, so it's looking like it's got Asian influence. I'm gonna guess here. Let's see how far off it is. Ooh, I should have known that. Philippines. Goddamn. Lame. Okay. This is Spain. Well, no, it says Scotiabank. Are we getting Cruz Verde? The problem is, okay, so we got a Copacabana here, cold atmosphere. It could be Buenos Aires. Let's try to find, okay, this sometimes is a good way to cheat. Oh, here's our cheat right here. Hold on, my wife is texting me. I thought I had it. I thought this official car was really gonna give me... Oh, it's fucking Santiago. Now that fucking sickly looking dude who is like, can guess like the fucking within a block of this shit. Still? Dude. Okay, hold on. I gotta just guess real quick. I'm gonna lose this round. Okay. Now you see what a real player looks like, alright? That's what you're dealing with. A goddamn expert. My wife texted me angrily just now. Oh, Adam sent me a fucking Stephen Miller in high school video. I'm not gonna go back to Stephen Miller. Okay. Let's see. This looks like... I think this is still... Let's see what that stop sign says. Okay, so this is... I'm gonna say... I know it's Africa. The guy that's like the best at this, by the way, sorry guys, I can't look at your comments anymore because I am trying to play this game. Let's just try. I think I'm off. It's probably gonna be like not South Africa, but the name looks vaguely. Let's just say Joburg and see what happens. I think it's probably gonna end up being like Kigali or something. Whoa. Damn, dude. That sucked. Fucking Malaysia? Oh, I'm out of free plays. I actually pay for this. I don't know why. Maybe I need to log. No, because I'm logged in. Okay. Well, let's get back to the program at hand. I gotta get ready to call it a night. Maybe I don't. Who's still here? We got 20 people still here. Does anybody want to talk about anything else? Is there anything else that is occupying people's psyches, things that are bothering? You know what? Let's fucking Adam Levin, who is a good friend of mine, and he is a producer for Bad Hasbro, the podcast, which I was just fortunate enough to be a guest on. I think I came off like a real libtard on it, but let's see what old Steven was like in high school.
Some of you may or may not know who I am.
Stephen Miller is a 31-year-old policy aide to Donald Trump.
Let's get the White House response now from senior policy advisor Stephen Miller. You might remember seeing him on the campaign trail as a warm-up act for Trump. Now the young aide is right at the heart of White House policymaking, greeted this morning by dueling profiles in the New York Times and the Washington Post.
After our story appeared, we were contacted by a high school classmate of Stephen Miller who sent us a copy of a video that had been made about him by his classmates. The video was kind of like a documentary about Miller and the role he had played as an outspoken conservative at his high school.
Hi, I'm Stephen Miller.
By the way, this is
Some of you may or may not know who I am.
He's in Santa Monica, California.
He was running for student government, so
Looking
this
like
was his
Dustin
speech.
Diamond.
I'm the only candidate up here who really stands out.
It's important to note that we don't have the whole speech. We called Santa Monica, the school district, and asked if they still had a copy of it. They said they've been looking for it, but they can't find it. So all we've got are these couple of short clips that have been included in this video that his classmates had made about him.
I will expose this fucking guy. One second, I gotta turn the power on. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you guys missed me.
And I will do things that no one else in their right mind would say or do.
You can sort of see that he's enjoying riling up the crowd. He's got a smile on his face at various points in time. But he makes this comment, and what he says is,
Am I the only one who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash? And we have plenty of janitors who are paid to do it for us.
What a piece of shit. What a rich piece of shit. I don't understand. Chris Moritz doesn't look like a great guy either. But I don't understand. This is what I'm talking about. And I'll go on about it forever. I'll go on it over and over again. How is it that so many bad people win? You know what I mean? Because I think we all kind of believe in some kind of karma. I think we all believe in and it obviously isn't unanimous because like guys that, volunteer every day get like inoperable brain cancer, whatever. Maybe they were bad in secret. I don't know. But guys like this, it's like, I am speaking ill of the dead. When the Charlie Kirk thing happened, I think most of us, I think it was the first time. I think Luigi really changed this for everybody. But when Charlie Kirk died, it was the first time that people were like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, I know that we've been kind of poking the bear for a while. Libs, we've been kind of being a little bit more like, not libs, but like leftists, I guess I should say, have been a little bit more vocal since the Luigi thing really like riled people up. But it was like kind of the most that it's also, I think, a little bit having to do with kind of the Palestine stuff, because for the first time in my whole life, the kind of like Palestine being pro-Palestinian is not a fringe idea anymore. Being a socialist is not a fringe thing anymore. But I know I know that he's a Trump orbiter, but he's in power. He's overseeing the Department of Homeland Security as an advisor, but he's the whole reason why we have really Venezuela and ICE, like two huge. They came up with the fake story about Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua was not doing shit in the United States until we ruined their economy and some of those kids. And mainly what they were doing, mainly what Tren de Aragua was doing when it got to the United States, was robbing people on the New York subway. That was the majority of the horrors that Tren de Aragua. You know what? I want to feel better right now. I really do. And I think I have something that's going to cheer us all up. All right? I got something that's going to make us all really, really happy. Look at this dude. I said, young man. Maduro had so much more fucking swag. Look at this. Fucking Maduro can fuck. Everybody knows that, right? Maduro can fuck. Anyways, I gotta wrap it up. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about before we go? I really appreciate you guys all being here. We're gonna do this next week. We're gonna get our numbers into the hundreds of thousands, and I'm gonna be able to move out of the studio apartment that I call home. Yeah. Okay. I am being told. Rudy, how do I find the super chats? Okay. Here we are. Leslie, Das, I want to thank you guys. Adam, I don't think these are paid super chat people. I know Cameron is a paid super chat dude. Always appreciate seeing you, Cameron. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm going to do this next week. DM me or email me. My email is on my website. There's a contact page. If there's a time that's not good for you, like I want to get the Europeans involved. Maybe it's like 3 p.m. next Wednesday. Maybe it's noon. I don't know what kind of jobs you have. Maybe you aren't allowed to look at YouTube during your job. It's pretty cool. It's creating this little like echo chamber of things. How far will it go? When will another Andy popped up? This is awesome. Let's just do this for hours to see how small Andy can get. But I really do want to thank everybody for showing up. And I thank you for listening to my libtard rants and contributing your fun comments. Yes, I agree, Seraph Thoth. Thank you, Das. I think that's great. I like all these quotes. Seraph, I don't know how to say your name. Seraph Thoth? However you say your name, you are, you're cooking, bro. I think too much engagement in this cesspool of politics has this deleterious effect on one's mind and heart. I think all this shit is, it's horrible how logged on all of us are. I say that while asking you, also, please do subscribe to my channel. Please be at the next live. I thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to go and watch my child sleep. But I love you all romantically, and I hope to see you again next week. Please come back, and maybe I'll do some lives from the ground. Pay attention to my YouTube. Maybe I'll get to go do a live during a riot. I've always wanted to do that. But goodbye, everybody, and thank you. And yeah, come to my live shows. Come to my, follow me wherever you can. My website, Rudy, will you tell me what my website is again? Is it I'm Andy Haynes? Yeah, come to my website. That's where the best place to buy tickets and see my dates. www.I'mAndyHaynes, just like my Instagram handle. But head on over there or punch up .live/Andy Haynes. You can get tickets there as well. Sign up for a mailing list, all that stuff. I'll get a better script going and say this more coherently next week. Bye. Thank you, Rudy.